Hi, my name's Kendall. I'm an author for ABC-CLIO, and over the last few years, though I've been a storyteller for 30 years, I've spent a lot of time wondering, why is it that story is so incredibly powerful? Why is it that it acts as a magnet for the human mind, for the human senses? And the answer lies inside the wiring of our minds. Now, we don't all need to understand neuroscience, but we should all know the outcome of it and be able to use it. Well, that's what I've been writing in this series for ABC-CLIO. First and foremost, the book Storyteller. This explains why it is that we resonate with stories, and exactly what elements of story it is that makes a human listener remember, create meaning from, and understand what they hear. The elements that create context and relevance. Having gone through those, the question is then, well, how do you use it? Well, it's storytelling first. You tell stories. The problem is, if it is true that we tend to make the process of understanding story harder on ourselves than it needs to be, it's also true that we make the process of telling stories much harder than it ought to be. We are our own worst enemy typically when we tell. We're like Dumbo. Dumbo could always fly. But Dumbo didn't think he could fly until along came a mouse and said, yeah, you need a magic feather. That's a ticket. Yeah, magic feather. Picked up the first bent seagull feather he could find, shoved it in Dumbo's trunk and said, there it is, a magic feather. Dumbo, of course, said, well, yeah, magic feather. Sure, anyone can fly. And he flew. Magic feathers to make you understand just how well you can actually fly at your own storytelling. If there's any hesitancy in you about telling the stories, you want to get a few feathers just to make sure you're ready to fly. Once you're telling stories, we then did one on working with students. You want to get the next generation of human beings up telling stories as well, and you want to ease them into it in a way that makes sense. But telling stories isn't the only way to get the stories out. Write the stories. Now, writing is its own language. It is a very different process from telling a story. Why? When you tell a story, most of the information you get across comes not through the vocabulary, through the text. It comes through facial expression, gesture, tone of voice, pacing, so forth and so on. As soon as you put it on paper, all of that is lost. And so, literally, as soon as you've changed media from telling to writing, a whole different process has to happen. Yet, we don't stop to think about that process because the neural wiring in our brains that controls it happens to be lodged in the subconscious part of our minds. So, a couple of books that talk about the elements that make the writing process work and how those elements come together easily for students to let them master the process of creating what they're going to write. That's the series that I've done for Libraries Unlimited on mastering story, the most powerful, efficient, and effective means of communication for getting any idea from one human being, yourself, for example, to another human being, a student. Again, I'm Kendall. Books are from ABC-CLIO, and happy stories to you.